Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching or listening and welcome to my house. It's time for another ServiceNow Store Highlights episode, or SSH version 11242023. That's right, we're getting close to the end of the year and we've got another moderate sized episode with 94 new or updated applications. Let's check out the breakdown of how those 94 applications shake out, and we'll choose the right episode. Here we go. We've got one eensy-weensy compatibility fix, compatibility update, 9 fixes, 22 highlights, 31 minor updates, 15 new releases, and 16 release notes fails. That's what makes up our 94 applications. Let's go ahead and jump into the episode and take a look at how that shakes out. I'm just going to get rid of this attachments window and we will group by our category, and let's start knocking these out with first the compatibility updates. We have Orca Security for Vulnerability Response had a compatibility update with Vancouver, so happy to see that. After that, we've got 9 fixes. Let's check out who are minor fixes or minor changes, minor fixes. We have 1E Service Catalog Connect, Agent Client Collector for Investigation, CCO, CDO, CPRO, CRO, and GC Dashboard. All of those are ServiceNow. Some of them are Innovation Lab dashboards and some of them are dashboard dashboards, but they all had some minor fixes to colors, I believe it was. And Now Assist for code generation and workflow dashboard, again, also some fixes. Next up, after the fixes, is going to be our minor updates. We've got a couple pages worth of these, so we'll just start reading them off. Advanced recommendation actions for ITSM, change management for Service Operations Workspace, collaboration services for Service Operations Workspace. I'll just pause and say, you're going to see a lot of these for Service Operations Workspace because some AI stuff came out, and basically all the bits and parts and pieces of Service Operations Workspace had to be updated because they're dependent on that release. So you're going to see a lot of those. Environmental health and safety, incident investigation, inspection and audit management, interaction management for Service Operations Workspace, major security incident management, metrics and CI actions framework, notify UI components for configurable workspaces, Now Assist for platform, and on-call scheduling for Service Operations Workspace. I think I need to go actually show all of this, and we'll just scroll back down there. I think, there we go. Next up on the list is going to be patterns on agent dependencies, performance analytics for security incident response, performance analytics for vulnerability response, problem management for Service Operations Workspace, record page for Service Operations Workspace, recorded future for vulnerability response, recorded future security operations foundation framework, remedial actions framework, and request management for Service Operations Workspace. Let's head over to page 2 and take a look at what we got there. Looks like we'll get this done in one batch. That is Security Integration Framework, Security Support Common, Security Support Orchestration, Service Graph Connector for 1E, Service Level Management Experience for Workspace, Service Operations Workspace Admin Center, Service Operations Workspace ITSM Applications, Service Operations Workspace ITSM Common, Vulnerability Response Common, Walk-Up Experience for Service Operations Workspace, and YDS One Search. I told you there's going to be a lot for the Service Operations Workspace. Let's go ahead and kill that filter, and we will regroup our categories here because for some reason it doesn't remember that I have them grouped before I hopped into the minor updates. All right, now release notes fails. Most of these, my friends, are ServiceNow with a couple of non-ServiceNow ones, but let's knock them out. CSM and FSM Configurable Workspace Foundation, CSM and FSM Configurable Workspace Integrations, CSM Configurable Workspace, CSM Configurable Workspace Lookup and Verify, Digital Product Release Workspace, Interceptor UI for Service Operations Workspace, Investigation Framework, Knowledge Capabilities and UI Builder, Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager for Investigation, and Net Enrich Connect. Let's knock out the rest of those. Service Operations Workspace ITSM Admin Center, SHI Integration for ITSM Procurement, Transaction Management, Unified CISO Dashboard, and Vulnerability Response were all release notes fails. If you haven't seen the show before, a release notes fail is there are no release notes, repeated release notes, or release notes linking to a paywalled website where we have to log in and actually to see what updated with the application. So I can't tell you what changed with those 16 applications because their release notes fails, which leads us to our new releases. So let's start knocking out the new releases. First up on our list is going to be Arcon PAM Raise Request. Raise Request for service on Arcon PAM. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. The key features here: raise a request for service required to access Arcon PAM, which can be permanent, time-based, or one time. They do have some screenshots. We've got an approval record on the service request. We have my services, looks like on a portal page or maybe another application, not sure. And the last screenshot is the contact us page. Next screenshot we've got here is a list of service requests. We've got a service request new record screenshot and back to that approval record that we saw there in the beginning. So that's what's new from the team at Arcon Tech Solutions PVT Ltd. Next up on our list of new releases is Deloitte Accelerated Workplace. Streamline business processes, unite disparate workplace services, and provide a seamless employee experience. Key features: on the functional side, environmental health and safety, service management, reservation management, visitor management, space planning, occupancy and utilization tracking, wayfinding, indoor mapping, unified portal for workspace or workplace experience. On the technical side, they've got automated workflows, real-time analytics, real-time notifications, mobile-first experience, centralized service catalog, third-party system integrations, AutoCAD integration, role-based access controls, and machine learning capabilities. They don't have any screenshots but a video, and you're already watching the video, so we'll skip that and let you watch it on your own time. Next up on new releases is Digital Product Release. Let's finish the words here. Policy Content Pack, data collectors and policies to enable the automation of phase gate verification in digital product release. Key features: data collectors to enable creating low-code policies for the DevOps model application, and policies to enable the automation of the phase gate verification, continuous evaluation of software artifacts to ensure they meet the specified requirements and standards. There's no screenshots on this one, so we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be flow generation from ServiceNow. Create a flow and subflow skeleton using generative AI. Users can create a flow and subflow skeleton using generative AI. That's the complete description, no screenshots, so I'll let you try to download that or work on it yourself, but that's brand new from ServiceNow. Next up, also from ServiceNow, Google Bard Spoke. Google Bard being Google's generative AI. Simplify and accelerate how you integrate generative AI capabilities with Google Bard. Key features: enables completions and chat completions with MakerSuite and Vertex AI APIs with support to Text Bison 001 and Chat Bison 001 models respectively. No screenshots on that one, so we're moving on to the next one, which is Kandji. Kandji, all of your device asset data all of the time. Key features: automatically pushes information about your Apple devices directly into ServiceNow. Automatically updates existing device records. Initial configuration will start a sync of the complete device inventory in Kandji, and ongoing data sync performed in near real time as changes to device data occur. No screenshots on that one, so moving on to our next new release is going to be KnowBe4 Integration for SecOps. Get insights into your employee phishing readiness. Key features: integrates KnowBe4 with the unified CISO dashboard, pulls in phishing simulation metrics from KnowBe4, and allows Chief Information Security Officers, CISOs, to see how their employees are performing in phishing simulations and identify any areas where additional training may be needed. No screenshots on that one, so moving on to the next new application, Microsoft Defender for Office 365 Integration for SecOps. On this one, the key features are: integrates Microsoft Defender for Office 365 with the unified CISO dashboard, pulls in phishing simulation metrics from Microsoft Defender for Office 365, and allows CISOs to see how their employees are performing in phishing simulations and identify any areas where additional training may be needed. No screenshots on that one, so we'll pull up our next one, which is going to be Now Assist for Field Service Management. Generative AI for Field Service Management. Key features on this one: simplify task debriefs with automated work order summarization, reducing manual effort for field technicians, enhance data entry on mobile devices, ensuring a seamless and efficient user experience for field resources, and increase process adherence and data accuracy by leveraging generative AI for comprehensive task summaries across activity streams. Let's take a look at the screenshots. We've got a work order task summarization assist. It looks like a summary, and yeah, just a summary screenshot, and some mobile screenshots showing my work in a work order, or a work order task, sorry. Now Assist is writing closure notes, and it has a button to stop writing, and then closure notes by Now Assist. So it basically list the actions taken for that particular work order task. And that's it for the screenshots on that one. And we will move on to the next new release, which is also going to be Now Assist in Conversational Catalog Request. Leverages generative AI capabilities to provide a human-like and efficient catalog request experience over a conversational interface like ServiceNow Virtual Agent Web Experience, Microsoft Teams, or Slack. Key features for this application: human-like conversational experience, answers questions based on the initial search string, answering multiple questions at once, multi-turn to allow requesters to ask clarifying questions or change previously answered question, and validation of answers. We have one screenshot on this one. It's a service portal with a virtual agent showing Now Assist looking at needing access to Miro. So helping somebody get access to the Miro application is our example there for Now Assist in Conversational Catalog Request. Next up in new releases, Now Assist in Knowledge Management. Generative AI capabilities for knowledge management. Key features: knowledge generation capabilities through Now Assist panel and in product. And that's it. No screenshots, no further description. Actually, nope, there is a further description that's a little bit better. Assist action, KB generation, 1 KB article generation request, assist consume 10. Okay, so that's right. They charge by the number of assists. Okay, next up, also Now Assist in Virtual Agent, which we actually just saw in the catalog there, but use generative AI Now Assist skills in your virtual agent experiences. Key features: Gen AI conversation driven by knowledge and multi-turn catalog experience, simple guided setup with no complex configurations or need to create conversational flows in Virtual Agent Designer, and thumbs up and down feedback and analytics dashboard. We've got screenshots on this one. Here's the build a virtual agent with Now Assist with 2 buttons, manage and view performance. Next is a setup Now Assist and virtual agent. So basically a little bit of a guided setup, but they don't call it guided setup. And now the display location in that guided setup with my air quotes, setting it up for employee center, and then back to the build an agent with build a virtual agent with Now Assist. All right, next up in the new applications is SAP Transport Integration for ServiceNow. SAP Transport Request via Real-Text Smart Change seamless integration and automation of SAP Transport Request via Real-Text Smart Change in ServiceNow. Key features: the SAP add-on for ServiceNow enables you to automate SAP transport processes via Smart Change. Find out here what concrete advantages Real-Text Integration Framework, can't talk, offers you. By linking SAP and ServiceNow, all information is automatically exchanged between both systems. The intelligent automation or intelligent integration of SAP and ServiceNow saves you time and resources, as manual alignment in person, by phone, chat, or mail are largely eliminated. We have screenshots here on this one. Smart Change, a related list of Smart Change SAP transports. Next up is a screenshot of an incident showing that same related list at the bottom. Next up is the zoomed in view of an incident of a Smart Change connected ServiceNow. And we're back to our related list of Smart Change in that incident record. Next up on the list of new releases, Security Simulation and Training Integration for SecOps. Integrate your phishing simulation and training products with CISO Dashboard. Key features: provides a framework for integrating third-party phishing simulation and training products with ServiceNow security operations. Allows organizations to ingest phishing simulation metrics from those products and enables organizations to leverage phishing simulation metrics in the unified CISO Dashboard. No screenshots on this one, so pulling up our last new release for this episode is Service Graph Connector for Google Console. Integration for Chromebooks visibility. Key features: visibility on Chromebook devices. I'm wondering if this is like Chromebook devices into the CMDB. Will import Chromebook devices details into the ServiceNow CMDB quickly, seamlessly, and securely. Integration is part of ServiceNow developed Service Graph Connectors, the plug-and-play Service Graph Connectors, simplify setup and facilitate quick integration. Before you get too excited, it is an Innovation Lab offering, not available for installation on any production instance. So buyers beware. And that's it for the new releases, which leaves us with our highlights. We have 22 of them, so let's get started. First, with barcode and QR code generator was updated to version 1.5.4, and in this release, They added an orientation option to allow rendering of barcode parts either vertically or horizontally, added color option to define the color of barcode parts, standardized sizing for barcode labels, QR codes, and barcodes, adjusted sizing to automatically scale with the width of QR codes and barcodes, adjusted displays so that any barcode parts that overflow their barcode label will be hidden, adjusted generation of QR and barcodes or QR codes and barcodes to utilize SVG in all cases, scale on barcodes no longer affects sizing, removed inherent label padding and added a padding field, and improved documentation. And there's some bug fixes in this, what they're calling a minor release. That's a lot for a minor release, but that's what's new from the team at Yansa Labs LLC. Next up, chat summarization for virtual agent was updated to version 1.1.0, and in this version they've added feedback on chat summarization with thumbs up, thumbs down, chat summary generation when a task record is created, and short description generation when a task record is created. Next up on the list of updates, Core ALM, gotta wait for it to load here to finish, connector for SAP Solution Manager, CHARM or CHARM, and ServiceNow was updated to version 2.2.0, and in this version they've introduced reporting, dynamic mapping, support of all SAP Solution Manager CHARM change types, and support for mapping any SAP Solution Manager CHARM change type to any change request, I'm assuming in ServiceNow. Next up on the new highlights, deployment guide was updated to version 1.2.1, and in this version they added deployment types, change, iteration, release, automatically get upgrade history, information on installation of apps, added new item types for app customizations and app deinstallations, added link to update source for update set items, added possibility to reload version for versioned items, added different complete states for various item types, added optional reason when defining prerequisites, and added the ability to track the status of an ATF step on completion. Next up on the list of highlights, Flashpoint VulnDB updated version 2.0.0, which brings us compatibility for Vancouver, added options for pulling only third-party vulnerabilities, pulling reference URLs, and mapping softwares with an S, and some bug fixes in this minor release. Next up, flow diagramming was updated to version 24.4.2, and they've added support for flow generation with generative AI. Thought that was a big enough deal to include in the highlights. Next up, ServiceNow's generative AI controller was updated to version 4.0.1, bringing Google Bard integration availability for Flow Designer and V8 Designer, scaling improvements for models, and fix some logging fixes and improvement. Next up on our list here, Guardrails was updated to version number 8.6.0, and in this version they've brought us linked pipelines. Pipeline instances can now override ATF from your pipeline configuration. Remove the new edit button from update set picker. Environment configurations and guardrail properties now auto formats the URL field. There's some bug fixes like an override ATF option from overriding existing ATF activities with blank ATF test suites. Added cascade delete to pipeline instances, resolve various CORS errors, fix spelling error in guardrails verification step, and build requests for complete retrieve update sets showed pending when there is no update set. Will no longer create a build request for a pipeline instances that contains no update sets. Next up, My IT Footprint was updated to version 1.5.0. Oh boy, this is a big one. I remember seeing this when I was prepping. Okay, so under feature and collection, footprint data form have been improved. Fields have been added on collection. A tab on analysis dashboard has been added. You can now use imported source to integrate external data. A dashboard has been added for collection comparison. Consolidation between domains can be done. Added a use amortization option on the domain and on the accounting category. For core, added an option on the domain to allow to calculate avoided impacts. For action plan, when a reduction action has been created from a recommendation action, it is possible to change assumptions and quantify dynamically the impacts. Under awareness, My Impacts is now available in the self-service app. Under UX, new certain uncertainty fields on sources and profiles. In the enhancement section under collection, added new options on manual sources not available and not applicable, a new type of manual source enabled to collect activity data without any factor, creation of a field to designate a manager for collection, new collection verification rule to verify the completeness of the analysis axes, new action on collection pre-checks to see collections defects. That actually rhymes. Under data, product family has been added on profiles. Nagoctet, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Free data are available in the app. Added new standard profiles. Uncertainty has been set for Aguaro factors. Recommendation templates have been added and documented. Uncertainty has been set for vendor factors. Under recommendation, new option allowing the user to regenerate the recommendations. Under security, added a system property to forbid the rollback of a published collection. And under UX, added a collection selection page to access recommendations. Can't believe I made it through all of those very detailed updates. Next up, Now Assist Admin Console, updated to version 1.2.5, and in this version they've added content changes, support app UI updates after skill configuration, VA skill cards, and they fixed guided setup configuration issues and UI issues. Let's see what's next on the list. Now Assist for Creator was updated to version number 3.0.0, and in this version they've added text-to-flow feature and addresses numerous defects. Next up, Now Assist for, I didn't read the rest of it, Now Assist for Customer Service Management, or CSM, updated version 3.0.1, and that brings us Conversational Virtual Agent for Catalog Item Requests, which we saw earlier. Next up, Now Assist for IT Service Management was updated to version 3.0.3, and in this version, they've brought us Incident Summarization Trigger when an incident is saved during reassignments, Chat Summarization on Incident Creation, Knowledge Base Generation from an Incident as part of Innovation Lab, and they fixed Resolve Minor Script Errors and minor adjustments to error messages to be consistent. Next up on the list, Now Assist in AI Search was updated to version 3.0.1, and that brings us semantic search for catalog item retrieval for Now Assist in Virtual Agent for improved accuracy on conversational utterances, semantic caching for improved answer generation recall, and robustness to query variation. Next up is the Ops Ramp Hybrid Infrastructure Monitoring and AI Ops Platform was updated to version 1.0.6. Oh yes, this is one that opens on their website, which actually works. So I'm going to give you the highlights from that website. Let's go to 2023 platform updates for November 6, 2023. They've added Helm-based deployment option, new user management experience, NTM UI enhancements, dashboard tile specific time period, provided external ticket ID and alert tile, navigation to the log explorer, and metric name length limit increased, configure trace ingestion limit governors, enhancements in alert correlation policy, PromQL based alert definitions, added AWS account label name on agent based metrics, AWS Lambda log ingestion support for AWS, Windows Event Log Monitor template scope, introduced new data types and formulas, and modified a couple of formulas in SNMP monitor creation page, provided export option and infrastructure 2.0 global search page, role-based access control support, customized the attribute selection, inventory export improvements, alert listing app improvements, and added a new batch export tenants, enabled export functionality in alerts 2.0, service provider user support, changes in application categories in the integration framework, and some deprecation notices. I won't read through all of those, and some plan changes. I won't read through those, but you may want to go take a look at those very detailed release notes from the Ops Ramp team, Ops Ramp Inc. actually. Next up, the Process Automation Designer from ServiceNow application was updated to 24.2.5, and they've brought us use decision branches if you want a process to follow different paths for certain conditions. To better control storage consumption, admins can archive process execution records with the archive button on the process execution list. Next up is the Rights Management app, which was updated to version 1.3.36. And in this version, you now will be able to create departments, create locations, create positions, create identities, and collect all the accounts a user owns in your Active Directory and Azure Active Directory under one identity, strong arm or strong muscle arm emoji. Create dynamic roles with a star eye emoji and use an approval flow for the role assignment process, star emoji. I love the emoticons. Please keep bringing those. Next up on the list, Serenity Core was updated to version 7.2.4, and in this version they've refactored the execute now action on entity maps, addressed issue that prevented entity synchronization, removed onQuery from business rules, updated onQuery business rules on risk assessments, actions, and findings, addressed an issue that that prevented the close investigation action from marking an investigation as closed complete in the workspace, added users listed as reported by to finding an action read access controls, and addressed issues preventing initiative cohort tasks from generating tasks at expected intervals. Next up on the list is going to be Service Graph Connector 4. OT Base, updated to version 2.0.0, and in this version they've modernized and improved the installation guide, streamlined guided setup, added concatenated device name field consisting of name device ID to ensure uniqueness among records. Some labels of the CMDB class mappings were altered, data source was optimized, and there's a note: fixed script has to be run manually for the customers who are upgrading from version 1.0.10 to 2+ in order to delete unwanted files, as it will not run automatically on app upgrade. All right, let's see what's next on the list here. Service Operations Workspace Core was updated to version 4.1.0, and in this version they brought 3-column layout for knowledge article and added support for Now Assist for the ITSM application. I believe there's 2 more here, so let me scroll up and click on Show All, and we'll scroll past the Service Operations Core and go to page 2. And I was right, we have Ship Ease Core, which was updated to version number 1.3.0, and in this version they've added multi-package shipments, introduced the ability to create one master label when you're sending multiple packages to a single recipient, and batch shipment creation, quickly create dozens, even hundreds of shipments and labels in no time. And next up and last on our list of highlights is UXC Generative AI from ServiceNow, updated to version 3.0.7, and in this version they've added support for related tables in the skill template, added support for definition filter also in the skill template, added summarization and record resolution as promoted skills in the Now Assist panel, added support for user roles to control in-product visibility for summarization. Record resolution now uses the minimum word logic to restrict records with minimal content. Section headers are no longer static and use the section headers configured in the prompt template, and they fixed various defect fixes to address UX issues with the summarization card component and skills. And everyone, that is our episode. Let's take a look here at what you just watched or saw if you're listening to our podcast. 15 new releases, 22 highlights, 1 compatibility update, 31 minor updates, 9 fixes, and 16 release notes fails. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in what got updated or what's new in the ServiceNow Store. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.